Beeswax paint, Gracie asks Jesus to look after her, too, to give her the gift of art so that she might do him justice. She will take the fans with her. Leave the big Jesuses for Ed. Ed needs volume. You need portability, says a voice. She sketches Jesus's jawline, then begins the eyes. Their intensity, the way they first pierced her with their compassion, is hard to translate onto the sheetrock wall, but then she feels a tremble go through her body, that jelly-like shock that happens when you touch something electrical and ungrounded. Gracie jerks slightly to the left, catches her balance with her pencil hand extended. The eyes improve with a few short strokes of the pencil and take on a vision of their own. Gracie knows the unfinished Jesus is watching her. The top and sides of his hair take shape. Gracie draws his beard and his mouth. The upper lip is almost invisible. The rounded bottom lip curls out as if to speak. She listens. Nothing. She draws his nose, his cheekbones, the lobe of each ear. She moves as she draws, a line here, smudge there, high, low. The image pulses forth with her heartbeat. Locks of his long hair fall to his shoulders and keep her from having to draw the ears in their entirety. A blessing. Ears are the hardest things to draw next to hands and feet. A breeze blows through the open window, and Gracie glances out to see the daffodils in bloom along the driveway. Their heads already bend toward the ground. The bright flowers have burst forth in an unseasonably warm February. Now, so close to Easter, they will soon be spent. Dashes of yellow fleck the bare woods and leaf-covered ground up to 20 or so yards from the driveway, then raggedly trail off into a buffer of trees between the house and a small city park. The sky is overcast. The gray light makes the waning daffodils appear translucent. Gracie decides to draw daffodils at Jesus' feet. Ed wasn't pleased when she painted just 3 walls white and the whole house. "Why not all the walls?" he said. "Why random walls?" She didn't tell him she was making canvases. It wasn't going to help, so she didn't bother. He wants a room all one color. He has become so boring, so short-sighted, so out of touch. By lunchtime, she hopes to have Jesus drawn on all of the white walls. Jesus with open arms in the bedroom, Jesus praying in the garden at Gethsemane in the kitchen over the sideboard, Jesus knocking in the foyer on the white wall beside the front door. She has a fan to go by for each drawing, a full package of sharpened No. 2 pencils, and a fat white eraser for mistakes and shading, at his cheekbones, for example. She never noticed before how high and sharp his cheekbones are. Gracie is pleased with the drawing of Jesus with open hands. Good proportion, accurate perspective, the illusion of 3 dimensions. Her childhood art lessons flood back to her. She remembers that young art teacher she had in college. She puts off drawing the hands. She shades the hair around his ears, then steps down to have a sip of iced tea. The stool slips on the hardwood floor as she dismounts, and she lands with a little jump, her hand reaching for the pine-cone-topped bedpost just behind her. The bed was her Aunt Claire Bailey's on her mother's side. Aunt Claire never married. Gracie bends to draw the hems of the robes and notices the baseboards are dirty. She doesn't want dirty baseboards to take away from her drawings. She'll make time to wash them before she leaves. His sandaled feet are easy. Only the tips of his toes protrude from the ripples in the full hemline. She shades the sandals with the side of the pencil lead. She finesses the toenails, tries to make up for the lack of visible feet by doing a particularly good job on the tips of his toes. She sharpens the pencil to get that crisp edge of the nails as they curve over at the sides and tuck into the flesh. "The feet of Christ," the voice says. "You are at the feet of Christ." Silence. "Now the hands."